The ball's dangerous. Tim Cahill. Can you believe?
Lovely little turn from the wall goal. Oh, what a goal!
John.
Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup.
For us.
He scored!
The Socceroos, kings of the continent, for the first time. They're the champions of Asia.
Hello and good evening. As you listen to us, you are tuning into episode 16 of the Football Snack. Tonight it's a rarity at the Snack. We have a full house, and joining me are the three regular hosts, Estelle, Ben, and Patrick. It's been almost 2 weeks since we've last joined you, and we're midway through a split round. So we're going to jump straight into it with Estelle.
Alright, so to start off, we had quite a disappointing game that I had to attend. Was Victory and Brisbane. Victory lost 1-2 goals. And they were actually 2-0 for quite a lot of the time. Yeah, so they lost to a bunch of retirement village merchants. Then next game we had Melbourne City against Sydney. And Melbourne City lost 4-0, which was no surprise really there. Okay, and they were the two games that we have had. And then coming up, we have Western Sydney against Newcastle, Wellington against Perth, the distance derby, and Adelaide against Central Coast Mariners. So we'll get into previews for Western Sydney and Newcastle. Pat, let's hear your thoughts.
This is tough because I hate Western Sydney, but I want the gap to extend, but I think it's already over. The competition's over. Sydney have won it. They've won the plate. They've won the league. It's just,
You're bringing me down with you, you know that, if it fucks up.
What do you mean, honey? Oh, I'm not. It's not my fault.
Go on.
I think Newcastle, Western Sydney surprisingly played well with that new guy. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name because it's a bit
Ikonomidis.
Bless you, but a bit too ethnic for my liking. Glad he's over at Western Sydney and not Sydney.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. They looked all right. Well, Wellington are shit. Nick's out. So I think. I reckon the Jets are still too strong. They should do them, really. That'll be close.
Didn't Ikonomidis say that he was a Sydney boy, so if he had to support anyone, it would be Sydney FC?
Well, that's irrelevant now. Once the moment you put a red and black shirt on, you can get a razor blade off TJ because no one wants you there.
Okay, Ben, what do you think?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Speaking of razor blade, I think Jets are going to absolutely fucking slice and dice West Sydney. The race is still alive. Beating Wellington 4-0, let's be honest, especially the way they've played the second half of the season, means sweet fuck all. Ikonomidis did look impressive.
Donovan's back.
Oh, Donovan's back, yeah, but how long? Hopefully he's back for the Sydney Jets game. I want to see a full team for both in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I see Jets rolling them. What do you think, Fraser?
Yeah, West Sydney have been pretty dire this season. I don't think there's any which way about it, but they're just starting to look like the wheels are in motion a little bit. But I think, as Estelle said, with Roy O'Donovan back, it's just a different beast almost now. Petrados in the 10, champing us out wide, and now Naboo out wide, just putting in the supply lines for him. I don't think Michael Thwaite and Brendan Hamill will be able to stop him. So I reckon Newcastle will take this by 2 goals or more comfortably.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, even though Western Sydney have been in form and the addition of Ikonomidis, bless me, has been quite good, I still think Jets are quite strong. Like you were saying, Petrados having a very good season so far. I'm going to go for Newcastle to win this one to make things a bit interesting. All right, so next up we have Wellington and Perth. Fraser, I'll get your thoughts on this one first.
God, honestly. I mean, what's to say? Both are pretty garbage, let's be real. Perth's only chance is if they start Luis Italiano again. I think Nick's only chance is if Kenny Lowe shows up. So, I mean, I can see just a high-scoring draw, like a 5-all, or just something obscene because neither team can defend properly. So yeah, I reckon.
Even in Wellington?
Pardon me.
Even considering the game is in Wellington?
Yeah, I mean, the home advantage doesn't really count when you don't have a home fan base. Let's be honest. So, yeah, high-scoring draw.
It's more so the travel though.
Yeah, I mean, boys should be used to it by now. Let's be honest. They've had to travel like 40,000 kilometers over this A-League campaign already. I mean, it's that's another story for another day. But high-scoring draw, in my opinion. What about you, Ben? What do you reckon?
I think what would be more obscene if it was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, true.
If it's both teams that can attack and not defend, it'll just be like one of those games where both goalies have blinders in results that don't matter. I'm just going to go 0-0. Also,
look,
start Keegan Smith.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Ben. That's all right.
Oh. Yeah, fucking... Wellington have 4 keepers on the books now. They've got Keegan Smith, another youth player, Tando Volappi, Luis Italiano. Why?
That's so wild.
Hold on. Did they sign Volappi?
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed off there.
Why?
No.
Didn't he retire?
No, he went to Japan. I think he
I
played.
don't mind you signing Volappi if you fucking play Volappi over your 2 12-year-olds and Italiano. Thank fuck I don't
surely
go for
after
that.
Italiano's awful goalkeeping last night,
Yeah.
you'll see Tando get a run.
Yeah, I'd rather Jacob Italiano in goals. Am I right, ladies? XD. Perth memes.
No one gets up because no one supports Perth.
Yeah, I thought of that halfway through.
I got it. I got it.
It's
Really
alright.
have
We
not
get
made
it
the World
because
Cup.
we're specialists. Alright, Pat, what do you think?
Honestly, no offense, Fraser, I couldn't give a shit.
Me neither,
It's-
honestly.
Like, I don't care. I probably
anyone
won't watch the
care?
game because it'll be an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. I think it'll probably be... I think old mate Italiano copped a bit of, like, yeah, he was shit. But that second goal, right? Or the last goal, sorry, the fourth one, where he fucked up big time.
Yes.
That first save was good. It lands straight to Soteria, who's on the penalty spot, on the back post, and nobody's marking him.
Yeah.
Like, yes, yeah, he should
But
have saved
still-
it, but there's only so much he can do.
No, I understand that, but still, that last shocking one, you cannot be doing that sort of thing at this level. I know you're a fit team, but it's
But there's-
unacceptable, really.
There's 10 other players on the field who did fuck all and let them run all the way down there
Of
without
course.
putting any
There's
pressure
that as
on them.
well.
The
There's that as
whole
well, but
team
that's
is
an easy
shit.
save.
The whole
That's-
team is shit. The club is shit. It needs to fold. Fuck New Zealand. I'm changing my tip. I'm going for Perth purely for this reason because
Hey, boys.
whenever anybody says Nick's out, people are like, oh, what about Perth? So, Nick's out.
Well, I'm going to go for a 3-all draw here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boys.
I think that's going to happen. All right, next game we have Adelaide against Central Coast. I'm going to go with an Adelaide win, 1-0. I just don't see Central Coast. I don't know. I think they've come to the point in the season where they're just being extra Central Coasty and not doing anything. So, yeah. Pat, what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. Adelaide, they'll be too sleek.
Ben?
How have we not beat Mariners yet? We had a 1-1 draw, and we got we played like Frank Farina ages ago. Like, they're honestly Knicks, but like on the mainland. That's pretty much what they're playing like right now.
Yeah.
And their best player is a 12-year-old with no end product who the media hyped for the first 6 rounds. Jesus, I want to go Adelaide by 3.
Wow. All right.
Big time.
Fraser?
Yeah, I reckon CCM have just, like, pulled a Melbourne City out here. They've just started off pretty shit, and they've just somehow gotten worse as soon as we hit December, January. I reckon... I want to say, for argument's sake, draw or CCM win, but I just can't see it happening. I think Adelaide will have their new boy debuting, their striker, with some Eastern European juju going on about him. But George Blackwood
His
can't
goal
go past
record
him.
was horrible, by the way. It's like 15 goals in 120 games.
I'd cop. I mean,
That's all right for the
Yeah.
A-League.
Of course you would.
he's playing in like top flight Europe. I mean, it's not great, but like in A-League, that can probably translate to 1 in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
All right. Well, I actually want to talk about last night's catch-up game. We had Western Sydney against Wellington. I want to talk about the new signing that Western Sydney made, as we were talking about before, Ikonomidis, and his impact on Western Sydney. I think that he's a great young player. He's very composed on the ball, especially for his age, and I think it's really refreshing to see. He's the only thing we've sort of, well, not the only thing, I guess, but he's the only convincing thing that I've seen so far come from the new generation coming through. So I think that's been quite exciting and a key factor in Western Sydney's, well, I wouldn't say success because, let's face it, they've been shit this season. But with his inclusion, I think that they've done quite well and they're getting better and they're finding some sort of form. Unfortunately, a bit late for them.
Estelle, it's one win against objectively the worst team in the competition.
It wasn't that either. It was the game before as well. Ikonomidis made such a difference to the team. He had some sort of stability that they don't have.
His full debut was against Knicks. He came off the bench against in the round before.
Yeah.
Right, my apologies.
Except
still,
that's
it's
okay.
Thank you, Pat. It's like fucking when people are calling Bruce Kamau a Socceroos bolter after round 2. He may be really good. This may be his final product, and he may be their best player going forward. But it's just too early to make a conclusive comment.
I mean, if he
This might come off extremely racist and probably...
Probably because it is racist.
It's okay, I'm giving you a warning. Sorry, it's probably football fellas related, always plug. I don't want this to be racist. Is Bruce Kamau actually Australian? I thought... It's not a joke, I dead set thought he was a refugee,
I think
is what I got told on the weekend.
I think he's of Kenyan heritage. We'll just say that much. I don't know.
So he's not actually a refugee.
Do you mean if he was born in Australia, or do you mean like?
Yeah, well, someone on the weekend told me he was a refugee, but I didn't know if it was a joke or.
I don't think he
Who
is.
are you hanging around with?
Yeah, I think Tongic is, or whatever that giant centre half is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is. I don't know about Kamau.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that was just the Socceroos question. I do love Bruce Kamau though. All good.
I think you saying it was racist made that worse, a lot worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question, Pat, what are your thoughts on Brexit?
We'll bring that up this week on the podcast.
To tune in for
more, it's the football fellas.
Brexit means Brexit. That's all I've got to say.
As long as my chips aren't halal, I'll eat them.
Forget I said anything. Sorry.
Yes, going back to Ikonomidis.
Yeah. What do you think about him and how he's looked so far?
Look, I mean, as Ben said, it's been 2 games. But I think it's very respectable, the job that he's done in quite a stale West Sydney team. I think the biggest indicator of his quality was the fact that the old forced first half substitution that Knicks had to pull. I mean, granted, it was Daniel Mullen, who is NPL 2 quality at best.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I didn't watch the game, but his goal was quite good despite the lackadaisic keeping, by all means. But
yeah,
it will be interesting to see him go forward. Hopefully he can put in a few more good performances towards the end of the season and get in the Socceroos squad more than anything. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing at the moment is getting these players up to scratch for the Socceroos. And I think he's one of those young players that I can see coming up very well. Him, Gersbach, he's that sort of player. I think that he's going to make it. He's a good kid, I reckon. He might be a bit of a fuckboy, but yeah.
So what do you see similar from Ikonomidis to Gersbach, like in particular? Or is it just kind of like you see him developing to that kind of player?
No, I see him developing to that kind of player.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I respect Gersbach a lot.
No, I was just wondering because they're both different positions. I was just
I see as in developing that sort. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Something that's probably going to get me very annoyed, and Ben will probably enjoy this a lot.
Oh yes.
Kevin Muscat. He's under fire at the moment. So at the game last week, every time the camera would come up on Kevin, the entire stadium would boo. And even the fans at one point started singing, "We're effing shit." So, where does this leave Kevin Muscat? Fraser, do you have any thoughts?
I think the first thing that came to mind would be, like, how cool would it be if the camera pans to him and North and South End combine and just say, clank, and then that's it. And then he just breaks down crying and just PTSD from that grand final. But, I mean, obviously it's not good enough. Like, as I said on Twitter, at Neymarnum, he got countered by the slowest, oldest side I've ever seen in my life. Like, Massimo Macarone, Fahid Ben Kalfala, and...
Hey, Kalfala's been quite good.
Kalfala is
Holman,
good.
DeVere.
Holman, that's the guy I was thinking of.
You know, the youngest one on that team was Hingett at, I think, like 27 or 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He's
27.
no spring chicken.
They've got those twins, though. They're pretty good. The young twins.
They had twins.
Yeah, they have these young twins that play in the youth team. I think they're on the bench, though. When they played the trial against Sydney, they were here. They were really quick. I don't know why they're not getting as much game time.
Because he likes playing counter-attacking football with Serie A journeyman.
Feels.
So what do you think about the actual, like, the squad that Kevin Muscat put out? Was it the correct squad? Like, what is going wrong for him at this moment?
I mean...
Well,
It's not all the players are awful.
Oh, sorry.
No, the way I see it is like obviously with the recruitment of players, who's it really down to? Is it the board or is it Muscat? Because Muscat said he wasn't going to make any purchases for Champions League, which to me just seems pretty lazy. You guys don't have a recognised left back at an A-League level. I mean, you have Labour Broxham, but you don't want to start Labour Broxham.
Well,
we've had this conversation.
he's one of those players.
Yeah, he's a plug.
Yeah, he's one of those players that can play everywhere, but he shouldn't be a starting player at the same time. He's just good for depth.
But what's the point of having depth players starting? It's like in 2 seasons from now, we're still starting David Carney. It's like,
I agree with
why would you still have that?
Yeah.
You know, I think he did make one right decision in the fact that he finally gave Troisi the bench. Like,
yeah, that was
right
shocking.
after he scored the goal of the season.
Yeah, I mean, off the bench, I mean, surely he's not a bad impact player, where he can kind of run at tired legs more than anything. And
Look,
then
for
maybe
the season that he's having, for the season that he's having, he's an impact player at the moment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just not doing enough.
The worst part
is, Kevin Muscat made the correct substitution throughout the entire night. But the funny thing is, someone pointed out to me that, like, he probably only made those subs because of our game on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So, so frustrating being a fan at the moment. So frustrating.
What can you do, I guess? Just try to get third or fourth and then go from there in the finals?
Hey, at least I'm still supporting my team through their shit time, Ben.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
What's that supposed to mean?
Did you really want to have this conversation? I really don't want to have this conversation with you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, not about that. Come on.
Can we,
You wanted to make this a 30-minute episode, not a 30-hour episode.
We'll leave that for another time, hey?
No, but slide jab aside, nice meme, by the way. Yeah, what can you do?
How can he improve?
Well, it's the whole same old story. People have the same criticism. His game plan is decent when it works, but when it doesn't work, he's got nothing to fall back on other than. I couldn't even answer that. Fuck.
Yeah, he's got nothing to fall back on. That's the thing. He has no plan B.
And that works if you have an amazing squad like last season, but now that you don't have a recognised left back, you don't have Marco Roas. Barisha is good, but he is limited to his legs. Troisi has fallen off a cliff. Like, his best player is Leroy George, without a doubt. Probably one of the best.
Milligan's gone again. Oh, by the way, I heard a rumour circulating Twitter that someone was sitting next to Mark Milligan's dad, and he was asking him about, Milligan's transfer and everything. And apparently, Mark Milligan asked Kevin Muscat to extend his contract. However, Muscat said he doesn't see a future for him here, and obviously that instigated some sort of a move. I don't know how much truth to that,
Yeah, I don't know how
but
much
that's
truth there is to
rumour.
that.
Yeah, I don't know how much there, but I would take Muscat's side if Milligan said he wanted to be a marquee, because the season he's having right now, it's like the season he had, he was good, but he wasn't worth
Not deserved.
being
Not
over the
worth
cap.
marquee wages, XD.
Not worth marquee wages. Thank you, Fraser. Those are the words I was looking for.
Alright. Okay, let's move on. Did any of you see that video? I think it was New South Wales Police. It was a training video. So they basically had a mock scenario going on about how to tackle some form of issues going on when called to it. And
Nice
in the
explanation.
video- oh, sorry.
Police do things. More on Channel 9.
Hold on. Actually, I think
A
it
night
was
on a
Channel
current
9.
affair.
Alright, so pretty much in the training video it said, so it had all the cops sitting down, whatever, and they were waiting for a call to come in, and then someone called in and they were like, alright, so we have a bunch of soccer fans at Campbelltown right
Shout out
now.
C-Town.
How do you... Yeah. So they were basically like mocking, I guess, soccer fans and using them as a scenario, like to train new cops. How great's that? What did you think of it?
I just reckon it's kind of funny. I don't object because they chose Campbelltown, and like
Perfect.
me and Campbelltown go way back. But I think the fact is also that they're insinuating that there's going to be like 200 West Sydney fans in Campbelltown. I think the average crowd there is like
all
100.
igniting flares and throwing it at cops' faces and shit like that.
Yeah.
Not the season they're having. Fuck no.
They don't have any supporters at the moment. Did you see the
Yes.
RBB last night? Hardly anyone was in there. I mean, Sunday night, I get that.
It's
But-
Sunday night at Spotless.
Well, it was a game against Wellington. Like, I'll play devil's advocate here. It was a game against Wellington and was fucking a delayed one. It's like, who gives a shit? They already know their
No,
season's
it's true, but if what they say is they are the best fans, right? So if you want to uphold this, I don't know, myth that you are the best fans, shouldn't you always be in attendance?
Well, like how in season 1 where they won the plate and they thought they were going to be catching up with victory by now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Nice, man.
It's kind of hard to keep up attendances when they're all banned XD.
I wonder when all those bands are ending.
Not soon enough, am I
That's a good
right,
question.
ladies?
Jesus.
What, they had
Anyway,
one season and all got banned in the first year?
Yeah, they should be coming up to it
That
by now.
explains it. They got all banned after the Champions League. Oh dear. No, but anyway, back to the whole topic of the video. I think people are really overreacting at it. People are saying, "Oh, this, fucking the media hates soccer and all this shit." I'm like, do you have to have such a fucking victim mentality?
Is it a victim mentality when it's constantly happening?
I disagree, Ben.
All right, I want to hear your argument.
Let
Go,
me
Pat.
clear thy throat. Righto. Okay. I was going to try and wrap it, but then I remembered I was white. Anyway, so basically, what
Did you
I
say
reckon
live
is...
or white?
I'm white, so...
Oh, okay.
I was going to try and wrap it, but it didn't work.
Yep.
I honestly think it is. And it's not... I agree, Ben, that especially I think being on Twitter exposes you to it more, the whole soccer victims that always whine and moan and fucking complain. Especially, no offense, the whole W League versus AFLW. It's this constant battle of we do better for women. No, we do more for women. No, we do more. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Honestly. Anyway, back to the point. That's just like they're always playing the victim. I agree with you there. But in this instance, it's fucking nuts. Come on. You're telling me that the number one issue in New South Wales is going to be a 200 to 300 person brawl.
It's not a number one issue. It's the fact that they made this video. First of all, they probably just used an example. It could have been any sporting event. But the fact that people are getting up in arms like this.
But it's because it's not like Channel 9 chose to air this one. The Wanderers don't even fucking play any big games out at Campbelltown Stadium? Why not use something realistic that people care about, like, I don't know, a terrorist attack?
It was
Like,
probably
that's
some.
But
Yeah,
there's
that's
been cases where there has been, well, there actually was a fucking terrorist attack, Martin Place in Sydney, that people were shitting themselves about for ages.
And the police weren't equipped for that one
Exactly
either. And they did
right.
admit to that. So if
Exactly
anything, they
right.
should be training for that.
That's what I mean. Why not go, oh, there's a terrorist hold-up in so-and-so, and then show the processes they go through it so the fucking society feels safe and go, hey, the cops won't let however many people die again, and that whole situation which they fucked up, they're not going to do that again. I think we can all fairly say.
So what you're saying is the police have made two choices. They're either going to have a protecting against a sporting riot or protect against terrorism.
No, honey, that's not what I'm saying.
No, it's not about that. It's about targeting football
They've
when
chose.
there's other issues.
Who cares? This is the way I see it, right? The people who watch that shit and believe every single thing that they see on every kind of platform are fucking idiots. There's the same kind of people who watch Today Tonight and like read about some random scammer and suddenly they'll never buy online again. Those kind of people are very few and far between and not really worth mentioning.
No, it's not just.
Go on.
No, go on. No, you go on.
Because I'm not going to let an article or a fucking story put me off something entirely together. And I think most
Okay,
people
but
have
that's
that.
you. Those people who watch it aren't exactly the smartest people, so there's something to, like, they would probably believe like that. Something like that. And that's
But
how
I'm not-
the media manipulates viewers who are, I guess, vulnerable to believing such bullshit. So
But it's not just
where
the
does it
viewers
end?
as well. It's the mentality of police officers. I work with 2 police officers. They work with me part-time, and they fucking hate football fans. And I asked them why, and you know why? Because they're all thugs. They're all cunts. They hate them all. Oh, they're all so loud. And I was like, oh, it's just... And I explained to them, I have chats, obviously, about from our point of view. I think it's fair to say, yes, we have all probably seen the odd little Green Street hooligan imitation scraps here and there.
Of course, but you see that in every sport.
You see people
You
buying
see it in
$1,000
sport.
merchandise at the AFL and the NRL, do you? Do you see someone wearing a $2,000 Stoney jacket at a Canberra Bulldogs game?
No,
Can't
but I
rate.
was sworn at by people at the AFL when I was 10 years old by some old drunk woman. Shit happens, you know?
So do you think that
They're
old
just
drunk
making it
woman
out
was
as
in
if
the
it's only
Adelaide
football.
Crows firm? Were they sticker bombing all Eddie had? No, they weren't. And I know it's a minority, but at the
They
end of the
actually
day...
tried to. The AFL
Yeah,
Grand
they
Final, they
did.
tried to blow it up 3 years
Yeah.
in a row.
I'm going to assume that was ironic.
Was it you, Ben?
No comment.
No, but I'm just saying it is also an indicative of the police mentality that they, and it's not, I'm not playing the victim going, oh, they're picking on us. Like, it does happen. I'm saying,
Sounds like you are.
no, but, okay, yeah, a bit. But
To an
what I'm
extent, it
trying-
does.
But what I'm trying to say is for the cops to believe that 200 to 300 people fights could happen at a soccer game is fucked.
But
And there's no need to run through this whole article
when was
about
this last-
saying it.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
perfect.
I'm actually going... Sorry, Ben,
So-
I need to stop this here. This could probably go on for an entire episode in itself. I want to move on to a question that will probably still get you a bit upset. Will Geordie Buijs stay at Sydney FC considering he has not been selected for the ACL squad?
Out of all the episodes to make half an hour, you take the past two... For fuck's sake.
How do you feel?
I think you just saw how I felt. Well, it's pretty obvious he's gone at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Let's
Where do
be
you
honest.
think he'll go?
There was fucking somewhere that gives him more money, whether it's in the league or somewhere else. That was the main driving
Could you
point.
imagine he
It
comes
was-
to Melbourne Victory?
I'd imagine you could please shut your mouth. Anyway, as I was saying,
Even better, Western Sydney, and he scores right against you in a derby to make it 3-2 in the 90th minute.
What would be
Can you
worse,
please stop
Geordie scoring or
fantasising when
Geordie
you're-
finally landing a corner kick? Like, both are pretty unrealistic.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Can we go back to the previous topic? Me and Pat were still debating.
No, that's okay. So, you think he's going to leave? Fraser, do you think Buijs will leave?
I was thinking about this beforehand, and the only reason he stays is, I reckon, if Arnold stays, and that's a 0.0001% chance of happening, honestly.
Yeah, unless Bart pulls off a miracle and gets us to the round of 16, Arnie's got the job. Yeah.
Yeah, feels.
I think we've just lost Pat there.
Pat's dropped out. Classic.
I have won the soccer hooligans debate. Thank you. I'd like to thank you all supporting me at home, listening, all 6 of you.
Oh, Pat's back.
He's back in. Pat, guess what?
So yeah, I don't know what happened
Ben
there.
said he beat you in that little debate.
I have won this debate.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
You know, when you just piss excellence like me, and you're still undefeated on the football state, there's not much you can do. You know.
No.
I'd like to thank
Geordie's not leaving. He's not going.
That's rich, considering I was voted the most favourite.
Geordie.
Yeah, because you plugged it on your Twitter with 2,000.
Alright, no.
You
Okay,
tweeted
okay.
it.
Whoa. Hold on. Pat's just
tweeted
dropped
it.
some info, and we know that he has an inside source, being himself.
Follow me, please. Fucking hell. Look at you shilling.
Pat saying that Geordie's not going.
Really?
Is that
Why is that?
reliable, or is that
it's in the process of renegotiating, and there have been things. How do I word this? They're still talking about it.
so it's
They're
in the
saying
works?
it's 60-40 that he's going to stay. 60 is staying, 40 is going. He was very upset about not being in the squad.
Yeah.
But they had, there was another source. Apparently they had a personal meeting about it and discussed it. They were spotted somewhere, the 2 of them. And then basically the next day the ACL squad came out. So the 2 of them went for coffee and that was spotted somewhere. And then the next day, the squad came out and he wasn't included. But what I'm hearing from sources, I'm also going to do some more digging. I'll report back to the snack for some more inside goss. I'll keep you all updated. But yeah, that's the situation I'm hearing is they want to keep him, but they say they're sure but not sure. It didn't make sense.
I think they should keep him.
Yeah.
They want to keep him, but
they should keep him.
He was pretty pissed off about not being included. Was the issue.
Yeah, I think the only reason he leaves is if someone in Asia just offers him fuck off money at this point. I don't think he goes to anywhere else in the league. I think he genuinely loves Sydney.
Yeah, he's a character, and he also gets around me, so I like him.
Yeah, and he dances on the Wanderers, and anyone who suggests that he is going to wear red and black any time in his career shall receive grievous bodily harm or even death. Thank you.
I agree with Fraser though. Like he wouldn't. There's no point playing for another A-League club if he does get a shitload of money in like the fucking UAE or wherever. He'd take it and run.
Yeah. Well, anyone would if they got offered that much.
Yeah.
So.
Not me, though. I'll tell you off.
At Mark Milligan.
I get killed there for trying to hold someone's hand. But anyway.
Okay, let's go. Meme of the week time. I'm going to kick it off with 2 things I have this week. The first one is Kevin Muscat getting booed. And the second is a certain Wellington player getting pissed off at me for the 3rd time and blocked me for the 3rd time because I wouldn't reply to his messages.
Who's this?
I beg your pardon. Third?
What? How have I never heard about this? What the fuck?
I will reveal the name on another episode.
Oh, okay, I won't.
Did someone try to slide in your DMs again?
Yeah,
Mad
3
Talk's
times,
back at
and
it.
he blocked me 3 times because I wouldn't reply.
This is bullshit. I wish I was a girl on Twitter. Fuck.
All right.
I wish I was a footballer in real life.
Just DM whoever you
my
want.
meme of... Alright, so my meme of the week just came out today. It was a statement Fahid Ben Kafala made, and it was, where are the young flair players? You know, people who, you know what flair players are.
Here we go.
And then right here, Andy Howe, Stato. Brisbane starting 11, the one that was just fielded against Victory. The oldest in Australian national history by far. Oldest starting 11 average ages, 33.4 years. The next 2 highest of that same Brisbane team a couple weeks later. Then it's Adelaide United's in like 2006.
Oh,
My answer to where the Flair players are, they've all got 5-year bans.
I was going to say they're all.
Big XD,
All right.
lads.
Pat?
Big XD.
Ben gave me one before, but I actually just remembered one. Thank you though, Ben. But my meme of the week on the other podcast, keep plugging, football_fellas. Last week we asked for players to be more cunty in the A-League for over the top celebrations.
Yes.
And can I use that word on here? Yeah, I can, can't I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've used plenty other worse
Oh, I'm
terms,
not going to
Yeah.
censor you, don't worry.
Like refugees or anyway. So basically, I'm not even going to try. I'll butcher his last name. Mijayevsky, Juski, however you say it. Adrian.
You said it right the first time you done it.
I know.
There you go. Scores, runs up to that fat fucking prick Scott Jamison and flexed on him. That made my life. Seeing somebody flex on Scott Jamison, that's probably the highlight of the year.
It was such a shit
Scoring.
goal as well.
4-0 at home, you're embarrassed, and then he flexes on you. And he mishit it as well. It was a shocking goal. That was my meme of the week, was Scott getting flexed on. But then he apologised for that. That was
That's
shit.
name of the season contender right there.
That was so good.
All right, Fraser.
Yeah, Pat just took my
Shuffle.
meme of the week. When Ben didn't say it,
Sorry.
I was like, oh shit, I can run with this. Meme, I don't know. I haven't said much. I haven't seen much this week because it's been a split round. There has been a lot going on. Yeah. Meme of the week will actually be, given it's the start of a new week. Everyone peep A-League memes on Wednesday. We'll be dropping some fire Valentine's Day content.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
Had some great ones last year.
Something in there will be my memes of the week, and that'll.
They've been pretty good so far.
Oh, just you wait. It's just getting started. Believe me.
That's
Yeah,
nothing. That's nothing.
It's gonna be good. Watch Pat.
I'm concerned if there'll be the hot debate, if a certain meme will get in there.
A certain meme.
Regarding.
Well, I won't mention it now, but you know.
Don't be a soft cock. Just say it.
And that's enough for this episode of the Fraser.
Alright, we'll wrap it up. Tune in next week. Listen to more of the Football Snack. You know where to find us. We'll be on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. We've been plugging it throughout the episode. More so, Pat's been plugging it. But check out Football Fellas on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
Great
Bless up.
podcast. It's good shit.
X-rated.
No, it's good shit. We love it. It's been a pleasure having you tune into us, and we will see you next week.